Well, hello there, listeners. Welcome back to another scary tale of a dicey experience. My name is Jason Sketch, and I am the DM of this awesome and dark and epic campaign. The winds are blowing in and coming from the east. The storm is coming through, and the Lord King Vampire Stolen has arrived.
What's that smell? I hate when the wind comes from the east. This is Stolen. Everybody's favorite Tortle Warlock crew is here as well.
Off in the distance, the wind carries us, and we see atop a hill a howling man. No, wait, a werewolf named Meerkat.
Woof. This is Meerkat. Woof. Carry on.
Last but certainly not least, the wind takes us to the pyramids, where we go diving deep into the sands and find an old crusty mummy named Lazy Man. Oh, right, sorry, it's not Lazy Man Gamer. Excuse me, Mean Green.
Yes, let me come out from my crypt as the favorite guest star, I suppose, on the Sketchdom. This is Mean Green playing Clark Coldwater, and now Arlo Legolo for this couple of episodes, and glad to be here.
Happy to have you all. Who among you might be willing to tell us the tale of what happened last time?
Our guest likes to do.
Okay, yeah, man, here we go. So last time on a dicey experience, at the moment the adventurers found themselves in the wonderfully putrid smell of the sewers. This triggered for our good friend Crew a flashback, and so he rode the putrid smell express straight back to about 4 years earlier to find us on the island of Tortune, where we got introduced to I'm going to say it wrong, Thork or Thor. What's your character name, Meerkat?
Oh, Torg.
Torg and Arlo, along with Crew, initiates for the organization. Insert name here. Chaos Clan, and we find ourselves, oddly enough, going to make our way onto Jean's aunt's ship, the Bone Breaker, I believe it's called.
Raker.
Bone Breaker, yes.
Raker.
Bone Breaker.
Raker.
Bone
Raker. Like a rake,
Raker.
like you do at the
Yes,
fall
rake.
with the leaves. Okay.
Yes. Bone Raker. And so we have some fun getting our breakfast, and then make our way down and get our directions from the admins from the organization, and then come up with a nifty idea to weigh down a canoe. We walk our way out across the bay to directly underneath the Bone Raker, meet us a nice little seal, and then begin ascending from the bottom of the bay up to floating level, and that's where we left off.
Right, with the seal coming in behind you with a crab in his mouth that you have thrown for him to play fetch with. The scene is set. Question is, what do?
So I suppose as soon as we get up to water level, the seal is back with his head inside the boat with the crab. I'm just going to give him a little pat, and hopefully he will continue to chew on his crab. I'm going to stick my head out like I was doing on the trip across, and just do a quick check to see if I can see any activity from the tieflings you described, or anything that can see us, or are we well protected where we're at the back of the boat.
When you stick your head out, the seal follows and is still in your face. So it makes it hard to see past him a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to start scratching behind his ear, and hopefully try to look around and see what I can see.
Okay. Make an animal handling check.
Animal handling. I don't like those, but that's okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, that would be a 3.
He snuggles in real close and starts rubbing his head against your face.
Okay, so I'm gonna pop back in the boat and say, "Hey, can somebody else play with Okay, guys, somebody play with this seal. Man, I'm trying to see what we got going on here."
Not me. Not me.
Do I have to do everything? Crew's gonna reach back and try and grab the crab out of its mouth.
Okay. Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
16.
Oh, yeah, that's successful.
And Arlo's popping back out.
After I grab the crab, I'm gonna throw it as far as I can to see if I can get the seal. Actually, I'm gonna reach the surface and then throw it. That way, I don't have water resistance. See if I can get the seal to chase it.
Okay. Make a strength or animal handling check, whichever you prefer.
A 15. They're the same.
Okay. Yeah, the sea lion gets excited and starts taking off after the crab. He watches it kind of lobs through the air and goes, woo, and you just see the little legs of this crab and its little claws just flailing about as it's flying into the distance.
That'll hopefully buy us a few minutes.
Arlo, you do see the tail is leading up. It looks like it does sway a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of work to kind of reach from the tail into the window. But there is a couple of windows that are popped open. You're looking up top, and it doesn't look like anybody's cleaning the back of the boat as of yet. Though there are a couple of tieflings that seem to kind of have now settled onto one of the sails, and they're working on a repair on one of the sails up there. You kind of hear the grumbling of the knoll you saw earlier as he's trying to shine at the end of that bone there, but he's a good 300-400 feet away from you. You don't feel like he can quite see you yet, but you can kind of hear him grumbling and talking about how he had worked so hard and yet he's still not been moved up just yet.
Yeah, so it's logical to think that if we stealthily tried to shimmy our way up that spine bone, theoretically we could get to that window without detection, just depending on factors and stuff. But that's certainly a possibility.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool. I will relay that information to my comrades, and yeah, and then I suppose we would just need to climb our way, around the boat so we're hanging up on the top and just kick it over to.
Mean Green, you know me better than that. How are you going to relay that information to your comrades?
Oh, of course. All right. Yeah. So let's pop back in there. All right, boys. Looks like if we can kick our way over to that spine bone, there's a couple of open windows. I can hear people, but I think this is as good a chance as we're gonna get. Let's see if we can scamper up that bone and get in that back window.
Is it a with reach, or are we gonna need rope to get up onto the ship?
It's kind of hard to tell. I think if we can get up, I think we can kind of climb the spine bone like a ladder, and then when we get up there, we'll be able to see what's going to be the best way to get over to the window. I don't think it's more than 10, 12 feet, so we should be able to do it with what we got on us.
Well, I'll let you lead the way.
All right, sounds good to me. So I suppose we'll start ascending the spine bone.
Everybody make me a... How are y'all doing? Are y'all going to do this stealthily? You're just going to kind of clamber about and do this?
I'm gonna make as much noise as possible.
Good to know. Okay. Well, if that's the case...
I guess as thieves, like, I don't know, just stuff I've read where it, like, tries to make fantasy realistic if you're a thief. Like, I would probably realize that you're not going to do this silently, but kind of listening to the ambient sound, try to match the patterns of the ambient sound, if that makes sense. So if the ship kind of creaks at certain times, or if there's kind of a pattern to the noise, then try to follow the pattern of the noise, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for any of the crew that's still on the ship, and anytime they're looking away, make my move then, so that I'm not moving while they're looking in our direction.
Perfect.
Kind of basically a game of red light, green light.
I like that. Torg?
I will be last to start climbing, and I will just try to go as slowly as I can, trying not to grip too hard, and I don't have any thoughts as to trying to mess with the ambient noise that doesn't come to my head. I'm just going to go as quietly as I can.
Okay. Go ahead and make a Gruth stealth check for me. Y'all can go ahead and, since you've got some cool descriptors, take it with advantage.
Stealth is Dex, right?
Yes, stealth is dex.
Yeah, awesome.
There's a stealth skill if you can add extra.
You take stealth as one of your skills there.
That's 12 for crew.
But I got a dirty 20, 18 and 19.
Yeah, same here, dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, Crew's shell seems to make a little more noise than he realizes it. It's almost like when he freezes, it kind of just clinks and clanks against the bone, and you guys figure that out pretty quickly, and imagine Twerg just kind of sticks his hands out underneath the shell to kind of help add a little bit of meat brace in between there, and
You're gonna bust this whole thing wide open. You need to slow down. Quiet down. I will whisper.
I will whisper.
I'm whispering.
I am whispering.
You whisper too loud. Okay. I'm going to try and shimmy a little bit more towards the center so that I'm not sticking out either side too much.
Yep. And yeah. And as I make my way up, I guess, to the level where we'll start to come level with the window, I'll kind of continue to check the back rails, but more importantly, as I can kind of make my way up, try to really get a good look as best I can inside the window to see if there's anything that I need to be aware of right there inside the window.
Yeah, as you're getting closer, go ahead and make a perception check there for me.
Okay. Perception. Is there anything I don't like about this? List? 6.
6. The sun is just peeking through the haze at this point, and it's kind of glaring off the back of that window there, and it's making it hard to see on the inside.
All right.
Are there curtains in the windows, or are they just pretty much open?
There's some open windows, but there are a couple curtains that are kind of blocking, so you can't really see what's going on the inside. I like that answer better. Thank you.
Cool. That makes sense. So, you described the gap. Are we talking a 10-foot gap, a 15-foot gap? What kind of gap between the bone and the window are we talking about?
You're looking at about a 10-foot gap between the top of that bone and the window you're looking at. You feel like it's about the same. If you're watching Lord of the Rings, and you see Gimli turn over to Aragorn and goes,
"You'll have to toss me."
I was literally about to ask, how tall are you? Can we toss you across?
Okay, so I'll kind of whisper down to crew and say, "All right, here's what I'm thinking. I'll tie off to the bone, and have you hold tension on me from this side, and I'll toss my hand axe through the window if you think that's the best go, and then I can pull tight, hopefully catch something, and then if you hold tension and I hold tension, I can work my way across. Then I'll be able to tie off on that end. It'll be easier for you guys to shimmy your way across."
Do you think the hand axe would be the best idea, or do you think like maybe a dagger to the outside would be better?
I don't have a dagger. Do you got a dagger?
I got a dagger.
All right, let's try it.
I'll hand him one of my daggers.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna try to do a whatever the Japanese like trident whippy thing, just right to the windowsill under the window. See if I can stick it.
into the windowsill or into the.
Yeah, just directly outside. So hopefully it doesn't make any noise inside. Hopefully the curtains muffle the noise. Doesn't sound too off.
Okay. I want you to make. You're gonna make an attack roll,
Okay.
like you would for like throwing a dagger, and so that's gonna be a strength check to throw that dagger. Strength attack roll.
So I could just do my hand axe attack, basically, right? That would be pretty similar. Okay.
Yeah. Are you proficient with daggers as a artificer?
Good question.
A dagger is considered a simple weapon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I am proficient with simple weapons, yes. So. Okay. So attack roll. Oh, Natural 20. It's weird. I get a -1 to some of my stuff. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, so you got a nat 20. Great. Yeah, you watch. You guys are really impressed with the swaying of the bone. You watch and you sway a little bit to the left, and he's swinging a little bit. And as you guys start making your way back towards the right, watch as that dagger flies through the air and it pings right into the windowsill, and it kind of wavers back and forth a little bit, almost like wedging itself in. You pull back and you realize you're gonna have to use Torg to pull that back out later on.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, then I'll develop a little like what would be, I guess, a basic like rappelling type deal where the rope I'm dragging rope from the bone, but it's wrapped around so that crew can keep tension on that side. And as I pull my way towards the rope on the thing, as long as I hold tension, I'll kind of stay aloft. That way I don't slide and slam into the boat. I'll just work my way across, and then I can pull my way in the window, and I'll just leave the tail hanging off the deal. But then I'll have a rope wrapped around my waist that I'm pulling from the bone that then crew can tie off and I can tie off inside the cabin. That way they have a solid rope that they can just shimmy across. Does that make sense?
No. So what I'm understanding is you've taken the rope and you've wrapped it around the bone. You've tied it to yourself. You're shimmying across as crew's keeping it tight. And you're gonna use.
So except for what I would do is I would tie like a little harness like we used to use at zipline, just the bottom harness, and I would run a loop through both sides basically, where crew can keep tension on the side closest to him, and I can feed tension from the dagger. That way I just slide across, and then when I get there, I'll tie off so that they can just climb across. But that way they don't have to worry about the dagger holding for their greater weight than me.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're watching this event happen, right? Crew, go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Natural 20.
Torg, Crew's getting ready to do this super cool, fancy thing, and it looks like he's got a pretty good job of holding onto this rope. But aren't you the strong guy? Shouldn't you be doing something cool like this?
No, I'm just watching.
Okay, sounds good. So you watch this little gnome make a cool little diaper out of rope around his body, and loops it around with the rope, and he starts to shimmy across. Make an acrobatics check just for funds there, Mr. Arlo.
Yeah, don't roll a natural 1. Got it. Okay, acrobatics. 9.
9. Luckily your knot is nice and tight, but you get about halfway out there, and suddenly your hands slip, and you just kind of have your body is just kind of hanging where your arms are behind you and your legs are down, and it's going to take a little bit of work to get back up onto that rope. He's about halfway out there. What do you guys do?
So are we pretty even with the window, or where's our angle? Above it?
Yeah.
Or are we below it?
I would imagine the rope is perpendicular to the...
Yeah, basically straight horizontal. So Arlo will just kind of hold up an arm. He's like upside down, but he realizes like he's just got a twist in there, and if he can untwist it, he's okay. So you'll see him start to kind of sway and swing, and then try to flip himself back forward so he can get that one roll out, and then he'll try to tighten it up and keep going.
So as I'm holding the rope, Torg, lift me up. And so lift me up, get a little bit of an angle so he slides towards the window.
So
yeah.
Make a little bit of acrobatics check there for me, Mr. Gnome. And Torg, make a little bit of a strength check as you're pushing up this turtle.
Okay. 8.
That's better. Okay, so a 12 that time.
Okay, so Torg, you reluctantly are like pushing against the turtle, but you're not really giving it your best effort. It's kind of like I really don't want to do this. It doesn't sound fun pushing the butt of a turtle up in the air, and so you know. But luckily Arlo is able to barely make it back on. You at least got one arm. Your elbow's kind of latched around, so it's going to take a little bit of work, but you're able to kind of get back into place for getting this rope. But as you've maneuvered and shaken like this, you kind of feel the knife slip a little bit. So you're realizing you're going to have to be careful.
Okay.
All right. So we get a few more feet. Let's do one more acrobatics check.
Okay, 14.
Okay. Yes, you're able to get there, and able to climb in through that window.
Okay.
What do you do once you get inside? Do you want me to describe the room, or are you just staying behind the curtain?
So basically, my plan is just to do enough of a, like as far, because I would assume I'm kind of bumped up against the curtains now. So my preference would be to do just a quick peek around the curtains to make sure there's nobody standing like in my immediate vicinity, and not really even take in the whole room. And as long as I don't see any humanoids or movement, then I'm immediately going to look for something kind of inside the curtains in my little pocket to tie off to the rope that I brought with me, and that way I can get my because I mean I don't want to take on something by myself, so I'd rather get my guys across the way before I go any further than that.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Okay.
Also, how high up from the water level?
You are a good 100 feet in the air.
Woo!
I mean, he's a big old boat. And Lazy Man's not here to tell me that boats don't get that big.
It's 12 on dexterity. I mean, 12 on stealth.
Go on stealth, yeah. You peer around the corner, and you look in the room. There's a nice big old desk and a fancy bed in the back. And like when I'm talking about a bed, like an XL king size bed is in that space.
King, yeah,
California
yeah.
King. But you can't call it California King. There's no California in this world. But it is an XL, large, double-sided, large king-size bed. There's a nice carpet in the middle of the room that seems to be just nice to kind of sit on. There's a couple of comfy chairs and a couch in there. And in the middle of this room, with his back turned towards you right now, is a fish person. And when I say fish person, he looks like a fish body with two little feet. And he's got a little broom, and he's just sweeping. And when you're kind of watching, you watch him for like a good 15 seconds, and as he's sweeping, he's just sweeping the same spot over and over and over again.
Yes.
Okay, well then, just as quietly as I can, I'll turn around and I'll look for something nice and solid to quietly tie that rope off to.
Yeah, there's the little metal brackets that you kind of wrap the strings around sometimes with the big old curtains like that.
Yeah,
so there's one of those big metal brackets you could definitely tie it to, and it'd be firm there.
All right, I will tie that off and give those guys the thumbs up, and then just kind of try to keep an eye on this thing to make sure it doesn't. It just, as long as it keeps sweeping the same spot, I'm just chilling and keeping an eye out.
Okay, yeah. Who's gonna cross first?
Yeah, after Arlo gives me the thumbs up, I'll go ahead and start crossing.
Okay. Make me an acrobatics check.
I try and help him along the rope, just holding him in place as far as I can.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a d10 since you can only get about halfway out there.
It's a 15 for my acrobatics.
1.
So 16 total. It's pretty good. It's awkward at first because it's almost like he's cupping your backside as you start going onto that rope there.
Torg, I love you, man, but not that way.
Suspiciously cold.
Yep, the crew, you do make it across. I imagine when you get to the other side, you kind of wipe your backside off with your hands a little bit. But Torg, would you like to try? And between crew and Torg going, you do notice he takes a half an inch step to the left and then starts sweeping that spot over and over and over again.
So the rope is still taut.
Yes, the rope is
if
still.
I try and go along.
So essentially, what's the dagger's there, and it looks like they've wrapped it around the thing nice and tight, and then they've got it tied to the metal piece on that other side over there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go along.
Okay.
While they're starting their thing across, I'm gonna look around the room again, real, just quietly, and see if there's anything sitting around like an ashtray or a waste bin or something that would have trash or something kind of dirty in it, a bedpan, whatever.
Yeah, there's a small ashtray on her desk there with one of those long, like, Cruella de Vil cigarette things sitting in it.
Okay.
There's a ink well thing that kind of holds the ink for, like, writing with a pen, with a big old feather coming out of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna just whisper the incantation for Mage Hand, and you see, just like I was describing earlier, the like the bellows and just all these different little knickknacks that Arlo has. So if you're able to see through the window, you see him take a small. He's got a glove on one of his little things. He quietly pulls that glove off and whispers the spell into the glove, and the glove animates, and it's gonna float over and grab the ashtray. And while the little fish person is sweeping in the one spot and focused on that, it's gonna come about 12 inches somewhere where it's like right out of the field of vision, and dump those ashes on the floor, and then take the ashtray back, set it quietly on the desk, and come back to Arlo, hoping to like really get this thing enamored on this mess that just appeared out of nowhere.
Here you go, Merp, and it starts sweeping really fast.
Trying to get those ashes up. That's perfect.
And you close the curtain, you turn back around and watch Torg come across. Torg, are you making athletics, acrobatics?
This is the cross the rope. Athletics, if I can. For a 19. I am just dangling from my arms, just one hand over the other.
Monkey bars.
I'm slightly pulling myself up and looking at my biceps as well as I go along.
Does a couple chin-ups every once in a while.
Perfect. You make it across, and you get safely behind the curtain there. You guys are all three behind this curtain, and you guys can now walk into the room if you'd like to. What do you want to do?
Before I move around, I'm just going to look around the room. Is there anything that catches my eye that could be used to get?
I'll do the little, like, when you're with the TAC team that's going in the building, I'll kind of do the little eyeballs and point at the little fish guy to kind of point him out to these guys, and then like kind of shrug and like do like a is it like, do we want to take this thing out, or like what's the plan?
You go to do this motion, right, and you pull the curtain back to point at it, and right when you do, he is right there in your face, just bubbles coming out of his mouth, just.
He's still sweeping.
Still sweeping. But just deadpan staring at you.
Arlo will just grab those bellows and immediately go poof, and he'll do poison spray right in his face.
Okay. Make a poison attack roll. Can you remind me, Mr. Meerkat, what race was Merp?
A fish person.
He's a fish. I think he was a Locath.
So for poison spray, he actually has to make a Constitution saving throw against a 13.
Yes, but I'm checking to see if he is resistant. Which it appears that he is not.
I don't think I have his stats on me.
He was a Kuatoan.
Oh yeah. Okay, Koato, yeah.
And can you make a Constitution saving throw?
Correct. Against the 13.
Alright, so you made a 12.
Okay. So let's see. So he takes 4 poison damage.
4 poison damage, okay. He starts hacking and coughing, and it's loud. Go ahead and roll for initiative, y'all.
Boom. Well, I'm rolling hot tonight too. Although I'm digital rolling, so I don't know if you call it rolling hot.
I'm rolling on D&D and Beyond.
I found this little 5e companion thing, but yeah, it's great.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like
25
old
to
school
20.
dice.
I'm a 21.
Yeah.
20 to 15.
16.
15 to 10. 10 to 5. 5 to 1.
1.
Oh my gosh. Wow, buddy.
Gotta love that negative dex.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Arlo, this thing is right in front of you. What are you doing?
I mean, I guess since I don't know if it's raised the alarm yet or not, I'm just gonna do the straight up like redneck mud fisherman thing and just try to stick my hand in his mouth and make him shut up. Like cat got your tongue, like.
Okay, yeah. I need you to make me an unarmed strike. I think that's gonna be our best bet here.
Okay, unarmed strike. That would be a natural 1.
You go to reach your hand in to like just shut him up, and your hand stops at his tongue, and it is stuck to this tongue. It is sticky and stuck. Anything else you want to do?
I'll go ahead and like pull out my thunder gun. It takes 2 hands to operate. I can just bash him with it, I guess. But like, yeah, just trying to get ready for whatever's fixing to happen.
Okay. Torg.
I will unsheath my great axe and try and cleave him in 2.
Arlo's like, "Don't hit me, Bubba! Don't hit me! Don't hit me, man! Don't hit me!"
23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
11 damage.
11 damage. Okay. He's still alive, but he's not looking super hot. It is his turn, though.
Oh, I kind of want to move around so I'm between the door to the room and Merp instead of on the side of the window and Merp.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, you kind of make your way around him, not exiting his.
Yeah, just kind of circling him.
Okay. He's going to clamp down with his mouth and bite our friend whose hand is stuck inside of his mouth.
Makes sense.
Is a 16 hit?
Oh yeah.
Okay. For 4 points of damage.
Oof. Okay.
Just bites down on your arm. Bubble's still coming out of the side of his mouth.
Still sweeping.
Still sweeping. Crew, what are you gonna do?
So you said there's a bed in there?
There is. It's on the far side of the room.
Does it have linens on it?
It does.
I'm going to run over, grab off of it, try and tie.
Okay. Make me a sleight of hand or survival check to get those knots tied.
1.
You're having a hard time getting those sheets untucked from that big old bed. It is like pristinely put into that bed, and it's like freaking hospital corners are like on point, man. It's just too hard to get it untucked. You're surprised that any person can even get into this bed.
Why does everybody use fitted sheets?
All right, we'll go back to the top of the round. Unless you want to do anything else, Mr. Crew.
No, I'm good.
All right, Arlo.
You know what? On second thought, he's gonna have a better thought and he's just gonna let the gun fall back in its sheath and just pump the poison spray again. So he'll need to make a Constitution saving throw.
8.
He fails, so he takes... That's better. 10 points of poison damage.
Okay. You watch as his eyes get bloodshot red, and he kind of goes, "Ugh," and he just opens his mouth, and the spray of the poison comes back out and just kind of swirls around the eyes, outside of his mouth, kind of like smoke. And his mouth gets real wide, and he stands there for just a hot second. It's like awkwardly long. Makes one more sweep and then falls backwards and hits the floor.
Can I remove my hand once he's dying?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. All right, good.
Let's see. Why don't you 3 go ahead and each roll me a death saving throw for Merp?
13.
13. Okay, that's one pass.
8.
8.
19.
19. Okay, we got 2 passes. I'm gonna roll 1. He's got a 3rd pass. Merp will be alive in the future, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately he is passed out on the ground right now.
Your hand's still stuck in his mouth?
No, I think I was able to get it free.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll I have to use a bonus action to reload it in between anyway, so I'll go ahead and as my bonus action get my thunder gun ready, and then I'll just kind of look around the room for anything that might be what we're wanting to grab and get it the heck out of here.
You do hear a knock at the door. Merp, buddy, you all right?
I mean, I guess, hold on, this be something that...
We never heard Merp talk, did we?
He did say Merp.
I'm gonna imitate him the best I can.
There you go.
Merp.
Make a performance check.
Do good, do good, do good.
6.
Merp, it sounds like you're eating the broom again. Do you need me to come in there and help you? And you see the door start to... Apparently Merp had locked the door before he finished sweeping. Didn't want anybody to walk on his pristine floor.
Arlo's just giving you the hand sign, like, do it again, do it again, do it again.
I'm just gonna Merp again.
I pick up the broom. I'm gonna pick up the broom and run to the door and start like
Sweeping right in front of it.
Right in front of it.
Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and roll with advantage.
That's better. That's a 16.
Okay, sounds like you're working pretty hard. Merp, just remember, you don't stick the broom in your mouth. You gotta keep it for sweeping. Okay, you keep up the good work, buddy. And the voice you hear it kind of walk off.
That was close.
You can say that again.
We should probably tie him up so that he doesn't come back to awake while we're in here.
Yeah, that works for me. Arlo's pretty good with the knots. He'll go over and bind the hands and feet real quick.
While Arlo is tying him up, Crew's gonna walk back over to the window and try and pull his dagger out.
Yeah, make me a strength check.
13?
Yeah, it takes a little work, but you're able to shimmering it out. But it definitely leaves a knife mark in the wood.
I'm gonna put it back in my pouch.
Good.
All right, let's find something in here.
Have we identified anything yet that looks like it could be our thing that we might take back with us?
I think that's what Crew was just saying.
Okay,
Let's
sweet.
look around.
Yeah.
Our fanciest silverware.
Is that what you want? Silverware?
We look around the room and get an idea of what's in the room.
Yes, you can look around this.
So, as an artificer and with an archaeologist background, I've got like if it's a well-known place, so I would assume this is a pretty famous pirate ship. I've got like advantage on knowing details about it, having heard things, because I'm super into like archaeology and like architecture and knowing the so anything that's technologically unique about the ship, like the fact that it's wrapped in a rib cage, any of that kind of stuff. If there's anything like about that, I would have advantage and like have heard knowledge about that, just because that's what my study is in. So would that apply in any way? to helping out with this for like a history check?
Go ahead and make me just an intelligence check with advantage there on just knowing something about the captain's quarter.
Okay.
But off the top of the head, you do see a brass prosthetic nose that sits on the end of the desk there. There is a pocketbook that's kind of sticking out of one of the drawers. It doesn't like the drawers close all the way, so the pocketbook's just kind of sitting there. There is a square silver almost like matchbox size piece that looks like it could slide open, and it looks like it might contain some things on the inside of that little matchbox. There is again that smoking pipe thing that comes off of that little ashtray, that Cruella de Vil smoking pipe. There is a whole closet, and I mean it's a cupboard, full closet of like dresses and different types of garments that she might wear. There is a whole set of jewels and jewelry that is inside of this fancy little jewelry box that is inside that large closet. There are knickknacks all over the place in this room. But crew, well, before we do that, go ahead, Arlo. What did you roll?
Oh, so with advantage, I rolled a 9 first, then a 22.
22. Okay. So you remember that there are a couple of planks in the wood that should lift up and make a small little trap door to some small little cubby holes in the room as well.
Nice.
So I'll just be like, man, guys, I heard from one of the guys that worked on the original construction of this thing. I think there's some hidden cavities in the floor around here somewhere.
Go look for that. Crew is gonna walk over to the desk and see drawers.
Yes, you're able to do so. Crew, since this is your memory, what do you find that you're like, yes, that's the MacGuffin that I want?
Honestly, I was thinking her ledger.
Okay, you do find a copy of her ledger. It is in a locked drawer though, so you know that you're gonna need some sort of lock picking device to open up. It's like the desk drawer where the keyboard would come out, and then you can feel like it's heavy enough, but when you slide that open, it's almost like empty. You imagine there must be some sort of trick to get whatever's on the inside of that drawer out.
I do have thieves, so I'm going to lock.
If Arlo sees that, he's gonna go over and just kind of like pull his new little device out and kind of just stand there, sort of like with whatever the version of puppy dog eyes behind goggles would look like when you can't really see the eyes. Then he's just gonna kind of stand there.
Get second try.
He shrugs, fair enough, and he goes back to knocking on the floor looking for the little thing.
Torque, what do you find?
I rolled a 14, by the way.
14. Okay, cool.
I'm helping Arlo find the hidden compartments in the floor.
How are you going about that? You get your axe and you're just swinging against the floor, or?
I am walking up and down the room, just looking at each plank and trying to see if there's anything different between the two.
Okay. Perfect. You can make a investigation check with that. Crew, you are able to pop this lock. I hear it click open, and it opens up, and you see that there's a drawer within the drawer. It kind of pops up, slides up, and underneath it is a ledger.
I'm going to grab it and kind of thumb through it to see what it is. Assuming it has all her contacts and all her what she's done in the past type thing.
Yes, it's interesting, right? Because when you're at the beginning of this ledger, it is very like the rest of the boat, very pristine. Like her handwriting is proficient and well kept. And as you start going farther in, it keeps getting messier and messier. And you start seeing more drawings of her, like almost like an image of a rabbit lady stabbing somebody. And then you keep going a little bit farther along, and you kind of see like just a bunch of words scribbled all over the thing, and it's almost like a crazy person's writing this entire page of, I'm going to kill them all. They're going to try to steal from me. They're going to rob me. You know, they think they own me, but no, I am the better one. You know, that kind of stuff. And it's just almost like the ledger's moved away from this like pristine, important documentation of things to more and more just like a crazy journal, and you see just random names and different things that keep popping up over and over again. And finally you kind of reach the end, and almost like the last 20 pages are torn out.
Guys, I think we have something good here. You all have anything over there?
Arlo's just doing a little, almost like a sonar check across the floor, just with his thief skills to.
Yeah, you're doing that little sonar check, and with the 18 that Torg rolled, he clicks whatever he needs to click, and the little board pops up and slams into your face, Mr. Arlo, and leaves a nice red mark.
Watch where you're putting that stuff.
For 2 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits your face.
Oh crap! Okay, well I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself because I'm about out of there, Bubba. So that takes me down to 3. So let's see, Cure Wounds.
And DM, just so I remember right, you said we had to get something from the captain's quarters as well as the treasure room?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Ah, crud.
So, Mr. Torg, you've popped open this little hatch on the floor.
Yep.
And it creaks open. And inside you see a relatively large blue egg. It's kind of scaly on the outside. It looks like a drake egg.
Yeah. It's just an egg in here. Doesn't seem that important.
Arlo looks over. He's like,
I don't think that's just any egg, bro. It looks like a dragon egg.
Dragon egg. That could be worth something.
Yeah, I would say so.
Pretty good.
I'm just gonna reach down and grab it and pick it up.
All right. Oh, looks like we got something from the captain's quarters. Arlo,
Yeah.
you know a good way to get into the trophy room from here?
you want to roll a history check, boss man?
Yes.
Okay, history.
Did we say that we got the ledger from here and then we got this egg from the treasure room and then just leave now?
We could. I don't know how much they know about what's where.
I just don't want it to come out later that we didn't make it into the treasure room.
That's a total of 16.
You know that you're gonna have to get out of the captain's quarters. You have to walk onto deck. There's a hole in the deck that you're gonna have to go down to get to the treasure room, and you're sure it's in the bowels of the boat somewhere.
It's gonna be a slog to get to the treasure room, boys.
Yeah.
Crew, you're heading this up, man. It's up to you.
Do you know how many decks between us and the room?
So, if my memory serves me right, when we make it outside of this room, there's like a half deck staircase down onto the main deck, and then from the main deck there's a hole near the middle of the hull with a little spiral staircasey thingy going straight down in the belly of the ship. That's where the treasure room is. So I think it's a direct line from the main deck down to where the treasure room is, but it's like down 2 or 3 flights.
This is going to be tough. Is there any kind of window on the door out of the captain's quarters?
No,
Peephole or something.
no,
No
she's.
porthole or anything?
You imagine there would be, but then you kind of see where it would have been inside the door is now boarded up.
I'm going to walk over to the door and just kind of crack it open and peek out and see if I can see how many deckhands are on deck.
So there you can creep out, and there it is like a little hallway. You have to go outside the hallway on either right or the left, and then go out and you can see what's kind of happening onto the deck out there. I'd like to do that.
Okay, I'd like to do that.
Okay. So you creep
Stealthily.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Arlo's going to make sure that we put, in case anybody comes to check the room, he's going to kind of just stick Merp behind the curtains over there, and then make sure that we like close the drawer back and close the floorboard back, so that if anybody makes their way behind us, they don't immediately know that somebody's been here.
19.
19 stealth.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you're able to get out there, and you hear around the corner, and there seems to be like one that's kind of looks like he has just recently left, like he had been knocking on the door not too long ago. He's wiping the big banister out in front with like dusting it. He's got a sword on his side, and then down below him there's a flight of stairs down. Is about 2 or 3 that are up there on the deck. If you look back up, there are still a few of the, I don't know why. Have you guys ever done that in the middle of the podcast when you say you're talking about looking up, you actually look up yourself and you start looking? Because that's totally what I'm doing right now. When I was pointing up. Anyways, you're looking up and you see, there are the tieflings that have the winged tieflings that are working on the sail, but it is, a good 100 or so feet up in the air. It's like it's going to take a lot of work for them to notice, like, hey, you're not part of the crew, if they're from up there.
I'm gonna log back in, guys. We could probably make it. There's about 3 people out there we're gonna need to take care of first. Either deception, or take them out.
We're trying to get this done.
We're trying not to make too big of a splash. We don't want Saleh to know that we were here. Yeah.
Oh well, try and sneak across if they're far out of range. Can we disguise ourselves?
I don't have a way to disguise myself.
Nah, you're looking at it, man.
There's a closet with clothes. Maybe we could find something in there to.
Call me crazy, but I bet the captain lady's the only one walking around here in frou-frou dresses, if you know what I mean.
I guess that'd be a little too long for you. I'd look good in one.
The crew just reaches into the closet and hands a random dress to Torg.
It's a rust color with bright daisies on it. The bosom area looks a little stretched out.
I'll start taking off my furs.
And there you are, Arlo. There are the stones, right? Again, it's there in front of you. Can you, while he's getting dressed in this dress, Arlo, would you mind roll me a performance check on making your disguise from Merp?
Yeah, sure. Performance. Is that wisdom?
When I finish putting on the dress, I guess I'll just throw my furs off the side of the boat and let them sink into the ocean. So they're not found.
That's a
Okay.
That's a natural 1 there, DM.
That's a natural 1?
That's a natural 1.
Okay.
You actually posed him on the bed instead.
Laid him out with an apple in his mouth.
He looks like he's just decided to take a nap on the big old king's bed there. You know, there's no propping him back up. You're struggling. You were lucky enough to roll him up there. And it's strange, right? Because you roll him onto this bed and there's still no wrinkles on this entire sheet set when you toss him onto the bed. Like, it is an impressive
goof.
Yes. Now,
so DM, on the climb up, did we notice any windows, any portholes on the side of the ship, or was it just the ones in the captain's quarters?
there was the windows in the captain's quarters. There was a couple portholes, but mostly it looked like it was cannon holes on the side of the ship.
And you said those were all closed up?
Those were closed up, but you could see them kind of blowing in the wind.
Arlo, do you think maybe we could pry open a cannon hole, and that way we don't have to go through the deck?
Yeah, I certainly think we could. I just think that, rappelling would be the easiest way to get there. If we're trying to go horizontal around the side of the ship, man, that scares the bejesus out of me.
I'm saying rappel down to a hole and get in. That way we don't have to worry about crossing the open deck.
Oh, we're still going to have to get to the banister somewhere before we go down. Because on the backside of the ship, I don't think... Well, yeah, so the backside of the ship wouldn't have any of those cannon holes, so we're going to have to get to the side of the ship. So if we go out the way we came in, we'd have to go somehow get around the corner. And, so to get straight down to a cannon hole, we're still going to have to get to the side of the ship instead of the back of the ship, I think.
But if we come out the door, there was only one person there. We could take care of one person and then rappel from the side there.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. So...
Now, before you guys do that. I do need Mr. Torg to roll me a wisdom check.
16.
16. Okay, so you
have on a cursed dress.
You were wise enough to tell the difference between your clothes and the drake egg, and did not throw the drake egg over the edge with the clothes.
All right.
So, you're actually using the drake egg to kind of fill in the bosom spot in your dress there.
Just one.
One egg at the front.
Perfect. Okay.
And I'm gonna grab a big hat as well.
No, Torg. Rust looks good on you.
Thank you.
Big old sun hat. Straw, big old sun hat.
If people are looking down from up there, all they'll see is this hat. And you guys can walk under it with me. Nobody will be wiser.
But this could be good. We could use Torg as a distraction, and then you and I can attack from behind.
Yeah. I'm thinking we don't want this guy to be super loud. So maybe one of us can, tackle him from behind and take him over with us, hold his mouth on the way down, and then just let go. But have one of you guys can hold on to the rope on the other end.
That's what I was thinking. Take him overboard. That way he's not making much noise.
Yeah, I like it. I suppose that would need to be me, right? So you can hold me up.
Yeah, I mean, you don't look too strong. No offense.
None taken. I guess as we get close, maybe Tori could toss me. I don't like getting tossed, but I can make an exception this time.
We're going out the door and then going over to the side of the boat and then lowering you down.
Well, yeah, but there's a guy over there that we don't want to raise the alarm. So when we get close,
I missed that.
you
Sorry.
Chuck me right into the back of his head, and I'm going to see if I can
Gotcha.
take him over with me,
All right.
and then let him fall into the water.
So we'll need to tie a rope to you before we get out the door.
Correct.
I reach down and pick you up while we're in the room.
This is getting kind of awkward, man. You're wearing a dress and junk. I've seen your stones today. Why don't you put me down? Just wait for the toss.
Oh,
Just wait for the toss.
I'll put you down.
Set him on the egg.
You're like resting on the bosom. Your little feet are dangling like a Muppet. This little half-orc Tusk is brushing against the back of your head.
Let's tie that rope up.
Yeah. You want a rope making check or not making check again?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. What did I do for that? Oh yeah, that's what I did. Sleight of hand. So a grand total of 16, 13 plus 1 plus 2. Yeah, 16.
16. Yeah, it's a sturdy knot.
Sweet.
The crew is going to lead the way out the room.
Okay.
And once he gets to the exit, he's going to kind of peek out and see which way the guy that was up there that just came up to check on Merp is looking.
He seems to be facing the right side of the boat, almost looking back kind of towards where V was sitting. He's wiping the banister.
So I'm going to look at the other two, give a little motion like eye movement, or like putting at my eyes. He's looking, and point towards the way he's looking, so that they know which way to run out and throw.
Yeah. Give a thumbs up.
And it is a human person. He's got ginger hair.
And then I'm gonna step back in and get out of the way, and then I'm gonna pat Torg on the shoulder and be like, throw hard.
I got this, and I'll pick up.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I'll step out onto the deck, and
Are you wearing heels, or are you just wearing barefoot?
Do the side.
just flats.
Just flats. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll start I'll try and like walk normally towards him, but then I'll start. I don't know how far away we are, but I guess it's like a slow walk, and then I'll start sprinting and then throw as I get close.
Arlo will do a quick look around to make sure nobody else is looking as I'm like trying to stay underneath this hat.
And no one seems to be paying attention.
All right, cool. All right, I'll give the thumbs up.
And we're just trying to knock him overboard.
Well, so the idea is that I'm gonna latch on behind him and keep him silent on the trip down till I can let go of him, and then hopefully I'm pretty close to the cannon hole already.
So I guess I'll position you in a way that your hands are like you're like this,
right at the back of the head. Yeah, right at the back of the head.
Oh, and
I'll throw.
we tied the rope around Torg's waist so that it's not just a free rope.
Mm.
Okay.
It's good that we remembered to do that.
You want an unarmed strike maybe to try to execute this correctly?
I think I want a couple of things. I want a strength check first from Torg, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
21.
21. That's great. Next, I need a grapple check from our gnomish friend. This guy's going to take it with disadvantage because he has no idea this thing's coming at him.
So that's a strength check, right, for grapple?
Yes.
Is that right? Oh, I don't like those. Okay, here we go. Ooh, 15.
Nice. You are able to latch onto him, and he rolled a low enough strength that he does just whoop over the edge. He's like, "Woo!" As you guys are going down. What are you going to do to make sure that he doesn't make any noise when you reach that barrel hole?
So when I grappled straight into his mouth. I don't know if he's like biting my forearm or if I've got my hand over his mouth or what, but I'm like, until the tension, as soon as the tension hits on the rope where Torch stops me, then I'm just going to let him, because I'm hoping by that point we're far enough down that the sound doesn't travel back up. I'm just going to let him go into the water.
So you're holding on to this gentleman, and you go over the edge, and he's like freaking out because you're holding on to him. And when that knot and that rope goes taut, you hear a snap come from his neck, and his whole body goes limp.
Alan.
His eyes are real wide, and he's no longer giving you. He's dead weight in your hands at this point.
Yeah, Arlo, let's go. And he is actually, because he did not expect that, but he's not a particularly scrupulous fellow, so he is just like trying not to laugh now because he finds that extremely hilarious.
But you do look, and you are about 15 feet below one of the cannon holes.
Okay, so I'll give a kind of ease me down symbol back up to the deck.
And we will end the scene with watching this body just sink into the water as Arlo is rising a little bit to make his way up to a porthole in which a cannon might have exited out of at one point. We will take a moment of silence for this poor pirate who was just living his life being a friend to Merp. And with that, I guess we'll find out if this clan will be deadly serious next time.
Rest in peace.
Or Merp, he just wants to clean.
Well, he scared the wrong gnome, man.
Merp's my favorite PC.
He might be killed here in a second by your new